Hello everyone and welcome. As I promised in a past video, today I'll be talking about how to cope with children's separation anxiety. Well, first of all, parents, carers and teachers need to realize that separation anxiety is a cycle and it's a repeating cycle. This cycle is made of three parts. One is thoughts, one is feelings, and one is behaviors or actions. Whatever thoughts the children have will inform their feelings. They will produce feelings. And these feelings will then transform into actions or behaviors. And these behaviors will reinforce their thoughts that will produce other feelings, that will produce other actions, etc. And this cycle may have sometimes different directions, but usually the thought, feeling, and action parts are all linked together. So let's consider an example. A boy needs to go to school for the first time. This boy is thinking, tomorrow I will need to wake up early and then I will need to go to this place and mommy and daddy will leave. I'll be alone, all alone in this place that I don't know. What if something happens and mommy and daddy are not there to help me? So this is the thought. What kind of feelings can this kind of thinking produce? Obviously, it will produce anxiety, it will produce feeling scared about what might happen. It may produce a very fast heartbeat, it may produce some shallow breathing, and the final resulting behavior will be, I don't feel well. Mom, I don't feel well, my heart is beating, I cannot go to school tomorrow, I don't feel well. This kind of behavior then will reinforce the thought that, see, I'm not feeling well right now, what will happen tomorrow if I go to school and I feel this bad at school? My mom won't be there, and then the feeling will be reinforced. The kid will feel more scared, more anxious, because he kind of had a physical reaction the first time and now he's feeling the same or even stronger symptoms with the reinforcing of thoughts. So every time the cycle goes through thoughts, feelings and actions, thoughts, feelings and actions, it will reinforce itself and it will reinforce and confirm the thoughts of the child. So what should we do to help the child? We need to either change the thought patterns of the child, we need to change the feelings, or we need to change the behavior. One of these parts needs to be broken, needs to be changed to break the cycle. So first of all, when a child says that they are feeling scared or they are feeling unwell because they don't want to go to a new place they don't know, we need to validate those feelings, we need to show understanding and avoid denying those feelings or shaming the child because they have those feelings. By saying, you don't need to feel scared. Nobody feels scared. It's such a great thing to go to school. Everyone loves to go to school. Why would you feel scared? These are not useful sentences to use, and they don't help at all. We need to validate their feelings by saying something like, oh, I see, I understand that you're feeling scared. How do you know that you feel scared? The question, how do you know you're feeling scared, will help the child tell you what is actually happening to them. For example, they might say, my heart is beating very fast, or I don't know, I just feel very dizzy, or I don't know, I feel my body is all tensed up. And in order to try and change how the child interprets that kind of feeling, we could also tell the child, you know, when you are doing something new and you are very excited about doing something new, you may also feel very tensed up. You may also feel your heart beating very fast. Do you think you might be excited about going to school instead of scared? Or how do you feel when, and describe a situation where they would feel very excited. Sometimes making a child realize that the physical symptoms they are feeling can be interpreted in other ways than I'm scared, such as I'm excited, can help children start changing the way they see their feelings, they think about their feelings. So from the way they see their feelings, we can change their thoughts. And if we change their thoughts from I'm feeling scared to I'm feeling very excited, or maybe I'm feeling excited, this will help change their behaviors too. So pay attention to the feelings and validate the feelings, and then try to understand why children are, or how children can tell they are having those feelings, and try to change the way the children interpret those feelings. Then another way to help children change their thought patterns is allowing the child to face the challenge, face that situation that causes the anxiety. This can be done gradually with some practice at home, especially with very young children. If you have very young children and they have separation anxiety behaviors even in the house when you are leaving their sight, it is important to practice at home by leaving the child for short periods of time, giving them a heads up before leaving, and just giving them time to adapt to the fact that the parent, the carer, is leaving them for a few minutes, for a few seconds, and then is coming back. So first of all, we can practice at home. We can give the child a heads up, say I'm going upstairs and then I'm coming back. Another way we can practice this is while we go upstairs or while we go to another room, we can keep talking to the child, or we can sing so that the child will hear our voice and they will know where we are. Obviously, when we do this kind of practice exercise at home, you need to make sure that your child is always safe when you're leaving them, or there is another adult that can keep an eye on them, or that you can still keep an eye on them while you are away. When we do this kind of exercise, we should start from very short periods of time of a few seconds, and then we can prolong the exercise to a minute, a few minutes, and see how it goes. The second step in practice would be that of leaving the child with a nanny or a grandparent or another carer that they trust for longer periods of time. That could be half an hour, 2 hours, according to the response of the child and the needs of the child. And finally, after a little practice, we can challenge the behavior, which usually is the child refusing to do something, or the child refusing to go somewhere because they are feeling anxious. And challenging the behavior means going to school, going to do that thing that produces anxiety. So if we encourage the child, we practice with the child beforehand, and then we let the child challenge themselves and confront their fears by doing that thing or going to that place that causes their anxiety, we are going to help the child change their own self-image and change the way they see that situation in the future. Once the child has changed their behavior of I'm scared to go there, so I'll just stay home, and they start, their behavior becomes I'm going to challenge myself, I'm going to that situation. Once they are there, they may find out that that situation is not that bad after all. After they go to school, they may see their friends, they may feel happy, and they may think, well, it's not bad at all. I love going to school, or it's not as scary as I thought. So their behavior, their challenging themselves has changed the way they think about the situation, and has changed their feelings about that situation. So they will feel more confident, they will feel less afraid, and not only will they have changed their thoughts about that situation, but they will have changed their thoughts about themselves. So they will see themselves as brave, as confident, and consequently they will feel confident, and this will affect their future behavior as well. Another way we can help the child reinforce this thought of self-confidence and feelings of self-confidence is that of praising the child after the child has challenged their anxiety. If the child has gone to school and the anxiety has disappeared during the course of the day, for example, or the course of a few days, and they have kept going to school, challenging themselves, when we pick up the child, when we talk to the child about the day, we can just praise the child for how well they dealt with it, how happy they look, how confident they look. I hope this video has been useful to you, and I hope you will use these methods with your child or with your students to help them overcome their separation anxiety. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.